KHOU 11 starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Cheryl Mercedes. We begin with breaking news. A Metro police officer is in the hospital after a shooting during a traffic stop. The officer returned fire and the suspect was also hit. This happened around 3:45 this afternoon. Right now, police are investigating near Chenevert and Ewing in the Museum District. Our Orco Mana joins us live at that scene. Orco, any word on how the officer is doing?
Well, Cheryl, authorities tell us that the Metro officer is in stable condition and is conscious. And we're also told that the suspect is also at the hospital in custody right now. Metro police tell us that this all started as a traffic stop just a few minutes away from here, but then there was an exchange of gunfire. Out here right now, you can see that the scene is very active. We have some crime scene tape up here and a very active scene with Metro police officers down the way there on Chenevert Street. Now, take a look at some video we took just a few minutes ago where you can see officers near the intersection of Chenevert and Ewing Streets. Metro police say that around 4:15 this afternoon, a Metro officer tried to make a traffic stop on Wentworth. The suspect then allegedly pulled out a gun, fired a shot, and then tried to get away. That's when there was an exchange of gunfire. We're told the officer was grazed. That officer was taken to the hospital where, again, they are conscious and stable. It's unclear right now what condition the suspect is in. And back out here live, again, you can see that Metro police continue to look for evidence at the scene. We also know that this is still a very active investigation. We'll continue to update you with more information as we get it. We are told that someone with Metro police will be giving us more information in a briefing here at the scene pretty shortly. So stay with us both on air and online for the latest developments. For now, reporting live from Houston's Museum District, Orco Mana, KHOU 11 News.
Looking forward to that update. Thank you, Orco. Also breaking this afternoon, 2 people are dead after a small plane crash near Klein. Viewer video shows smoke pluming into the air moments later. This happened just after noon near Hooks Airport. Troy Klass joins us live from that location. And Troy, what have you learned so far?
Well, Cheryl, we are learning that the crash happening about on the south end of the airport. I'm told that the plane came down about 200 yards short of the runway, and that crash was captured on video. Now, we do want to warn you, the video may be distressing to watch, but you will not see the plane catch on fire after it hits the ground. But take a look at the video here, and you can see that in the circle, you can see the plane come down. Now, first the wing hits the ground, then the plane rolls up onto its nose, and there's an explosion. The Texas DPS says that the crash happened at 12:12 this afternoon. The 2 people on board were an older man and older woman, according to DPS. They had just left the airport to fly to Lubbock when DPS shares what happens next.
Developed some type of an issue, mechanical issue. The pilot attempted to turn the plane around. He got fairly low to the runway. I don't necessarily think he was lined up exactly to the runway, and he landed the plane well shy of the runway.
The crash also caused a fire in the field immediately around the plane, but DPS says the fire was put out quickly by first responders. The FAA and NTSB were notified and will investigate the crash, and we're told that the airport here will be closed for 24 hours while the investigation continues, and Texas DPS says that it may take time to identify the 2 individuals who died today. Reporting live in Northwest Harris County, Troy Klass, KHOU 11 News.
All right, such a sad situation there. Thank you so much, Troy. As Troy mentioned, both the NTSB and FAA are investigating, but that can often take months. NTSB investigations focus on 3 primary areas: the pilot, the aircraft, and the operating environment. Investigators will gather a wide range of information, including flight track data, air traffic control recordings, aircraft maintenance records, the pilot's license and recent flight experience, and also surveillance video. The NTSB does not determine the cause of the crash while they're on site. A preliminary report is expected within 30 days. A final report, which will include the probable cause and any contributing factors, could take a year or 2 to complete. We're staying on top of this breaking story, and you can too. Just download the KHOU 11 News app and turn on those notifications. We'll send updates straight to your phone. Tragedy in Michigan after a gunman opened fire during a Sunday church service. 2 people are dead and at least 10 others injured. Police say the gunman was killed at the scene. It happened at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. Terrell Bailey has more from there.
The violence unfolded shortly after 10 Sunday morning at the Church of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. A gunman rammed his vehicle into the building where a church service was going on and opened fire using what authorities say was an assault rifle.
The service was active. There was hundreds of people within the church.
Authorities say at least 10 people were wounded, including at least 2 people who have since died.
Let me say we are heartbroken. This kind of violence doesn't happen in our community, and we are heartbroken that it came to Grand Blanc Township.
The gunman was killed by police. Authorities believe the gunman, a 40-year-old Michigan man, intentionally set fire to the church. The fire quickly spread, engulfing the entire structure in flames.
We do believe that we will find some additional victims once we find the area where the fire was. It was a large fire, and we do believe that there was people up there that were near that fire and they were unable to get out of the church.
Area residents described the chaos of the scene.
The church is engulfed in flames, not much left of it. Obviously, it's been there, and I got there within 5 minutes because I could see the smoke right up around this. You know, like I said, it was right up the street from my house, probably 300 yards. Police everywhere, 50, 100 police cops, ambulances, fire trucks everywhere.
The fire was later brought under control. Authorities say they believe the gunman acted alone and are working now to determine a motive. Terrell Bailey, CBS News, Grand Blanc, Michigan.
Stay with KHOU 11 for updates as this story develops. You can also follow the latest online at KHOU.com. In North Houston, firefighters are investigating an overnight fire at a nursing home. Crews got the call just before 1:30 this morning at the West Yonich Healthcare Center. Staff were seen evacuating residents, and much of the fire was out before HFD arrived. Firefighters say it was largely contained to a single room. One person died, but their name has not been released. A popular taco spot in North Houston is back open this afternoon after an overnight shooting left 3 people hurt. Police say it started when a man refused to leave the bathroom and ended with a security guard firing his weapon after being attacked. Michelle Choi has the story.
By 9 this morning, it was business as usual at Cantina Barba. Customers ordering food, eating inside and out. But just hours earlier, this same spot was a crime scene. Overnight video shows a man detained who appears to be the security guard. We've blurred his face to protect his identity. Police say it started around 3:30 a.m. when employees flagged him down about a man refusing to leave the restroom.
The security guard went into the bathroom, had the male escorted outside. Once they were outside, a verbal altercation ensued.
HPD says that man had several friends with him who suddenly attacked.
The 6 or 7 friends began to attack the security guard. The security guard advised once he was on the ground and they were fighting and he was being attacked that he felt someone was reaching for his weapon, at which point he pulled out his weapon and discharged several times.
2 men were shot in the chest, rushed to the hospital. A bystander, an employee here, was hit in the hand, but workers tell us he's going to be okay. The guard himself was also hospitalized after complaining of medical issues, seen being moved into an ambulance at the scene. Investigators confirmed the guard is licensed. They're now interviewing witnesses and say it'll be up to the Harris County DA to determine whether charges are filed. For now, Houston police are asking anyone who saw what happened to call them. In North Houston, Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
Headlining your weather this evening, a picture-perfect fall end of the day with clear skies over Galveston Island. Meteorologist Chris Ramirez is in for Pat Cavlin tonight. And Chris, all right, how long can we expect this pleasant weather to hang around?
Well, the good news is that we are expecting this to last through the first half of our week. So a pleasant start once again tomorrow. If you are heading off to work, the mornings are going to remain cool and with temps in the 60s, but we will start seeing the return of that humidity, but we're also tracking the tropics. We were seeing some activity out in the Atlantic. We have a new named storm on our hands, especially as we head into the next few days here. But looking at the air temp right now, we're in the upper 80s, still a bit warm out there. Sugar Land at 90 degrees, Conroe at 89, Bush Airport at 88 degrees. As far as our hourly planner, we are expecting those evening temps to drop into the upper 70s. And just keep an eye, or remember that it is dry out there, as we are expecting those temps to feel all the more comfortable. So overnight lows and morning temperatures are going to drop into the upper 60s, 67 for downtown. Areas off to the northwest likely to see lower 60-degree temps, 72 at League City, 76 in Galveston. So our coastal areas likely to remain a bit on the warmer side. So looking at tomorrow afternoon, we're going to have another similar day with afternoon temps getting up into the upper 80s, low 90s. So definitely something to look forward to, especially if you're heading off to those evening jogs or evening exercises. But looking at the low temperatures, we're going to continue to see those overnight lows dropping and remaining in the 60s for the next few days. So the cool mornings are here to stay, at least for this week. So dry air in place. Keep in mind that even though the air is dry out there, there is an elevated fire weather risk, especially if you are doing outdoor burning. So where you see the tan colors, that is a high risk for fire as we head into the next few hours, and this is going to last into tomorrow as well. High pressure system in place. It's going to start moving off towards the east. We might see a bit more cloud cover heading into Monday and Tuesday, but most of this week is just going to remain sunny, warm, cool mornings, and then we are expecting the return of that humidity as we head into Thursday and Friday of this week. We could also expect the return of those isolated showers as we head into the end of the work week. So keep that in mind as well, that enjoy the dry air while we have it. So those dew points in the 50s, and we're going to likely see them start ramping up into the 70s once again. And it's usually when we get into the 70s, that's when we bring back those muggy, summer humid type feeling conditions out there. So right now, dry and comfortable, but by the end of the week, we're going to see summer humid conditions once again, unfortunately. So enjoy it while we have it. The tropics, we now have Tropical Storm Imelda. That is currently out in the Bahamas. That's continuing to slowward northward movement. But looking at those two systems, you have Humberto, which is still a rather powerful hurricane. Winds at 145 miles an hour, moving northwest at 13 miles an hour. You have Imelda. It's still a bit disorganized, but it's a tropical storm, and we are seeing that moving over the islands of the Bahamas. As we look at the latest forecast tracks from both of these systems, we are expecting these to continue more of an eastward movement. So looking at Imelda, the good news, though, is that we are expecting those storms, or Imelda, to be more so towards a more easterly, less impacting the East Coast U.S. So Humberto, still a Category 2. We're getting into it too as we head into the next few days, but Imelda, the latest track has that just offshore, but it still could bring a bit of rain for our friends out in the East Coast U.S., especially out in the Carolinas. So as we look at these two systems, as we go into the next 2 to 3 days, they're going to come relatively close to each other. And then eventually, once again, we have more of a high pressure system out in the mid-Atlantic that's going to start veering Humberto off towards the northeast. Imelda's going to try to chase Humberto, but she's going to stay lonely out there in the Atlantic as we head into Sunday and Monday of this week. The good news, no storms threatening the Gulf, at least for the next 7 days. So as far as that rain potential, as long as the center of that storm is remaining well over open water, we could see less rain impacts for the East Coast, but we could still see some isolated areas that could get between 5 to 6 inches of rainfall as we head into the next maybe Monday and Tuesday. So with 10-day high temperature trends here across Houston in the upper 80s, low 90s. Average temp for this time of year usually 88 degrees, and we are expecting it to be just a couple of degrees above that as we head into the next few days. So 7-day forecast, starting off our week, mostly dry and sunny. We're able to enjoy the comfortable conditions out there with those temps warming up to about 89, 90 degrees, but it's not going to be until Friday, Saturday. That's where we're going to start seeing the humidity return, with highs in the 90s, lows likely to be in the 60s and 70s, and we do have a chance for some isolated showers that could make our way into the area as we head into those afternoon hours. Cheryl?
All right, you've been warned. Thanks, Chris. Well, tomorrow, President Trump will meet with Republican and Democratic leaders on Capitol Hill with a possible government shutdown 2 days away. It comes after a GOP-backed funding plan failed in the Senate. Democrats say they won't support a short-term deal unless it restores key Affordable Care Act subsidies that help millions afford health insurance. Now both sides are pointing fingers over who's to blame.
We're going to see, but the radical left Democrats want to shut it down. I mean, it's up to them.
We'll sit down with anyone, anytime, any place in order to try to find a bipartisan path forward to fund the government.
Under Senate rules, Republicans still need at least 7 Democrats to pass a spending deal. And adding to the pressure, the White House Budget Office has ordered federal agencies to prepare sweeping new layoffs if the government shuts down. Turning now to some of today's other top stories. In Eagle Pass, 2 people are dead and several others hurt after a gunman opened fire in the parking lot of a popular casino. The Maverick County Sheriff's Office says it happened after midnight at the KHOU Lucky Eagle Casino. The suspect, a 34-year-old San Antonio man, was arrested after leading DPS troopers on a chase. Investigators say he refused to stop until troopers disabled his car and tased him. He now faces 2 counts of capital murder and 5 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. In North Carolina, 3 people are dead and at least 8 others hurt after a gunman opened fire from a boat at a waterfront bar last night. Investigators say he fled by boat toward a nearby community, but the U.S. Coast Guard stopped and detained him. The suspect, a 40-year-old Nigel Edge, is charged with multiple counts of murder and is expected in court on Monday. A motive remains unclear. Uvalde CISD officials are sharing new details about a cybersecurity threat that shut down the district for several days. Investigators have identified and resolved the point of access used by the attackers. The district stresses that this was not caused by a staff error. No one clicked on anything suspicious. Officials also say they did not pay a ransom. They instead restored their systems using backups. They added no personal data was accessed, though the investigation could take a few weeks. Well, Texans fans finally have something to cheer about. The team ended its dry spell, earning its first win of the season, shutting out the Titans 26-0 at NRG Stadium. It's the team's 3rd shutout in the franchise history and the first since beating the Titans 29-0 in 2010. Houston improves to 1-3 on the season, and they'll face the Baltimore Ravens next Sunday. You can catch more post-game reaction from the team and players tonight on Sports Extra, airing right after our 10 p.m. show. How exciting for the Texans.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my goodness. And the tailgaters with this weather, Chris. Can you ask for a better afternoon?
You can't. And honestly, the good news is that we're going to have a just as good start for our work week, especially if you're heading out the door tomorrow. We are going to see mostly sunny skies, highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. Expect a bit of cloud cover for the middle of the week, and then we are seeing some isolated showers return by Friday and Saturday. So the dry air in place, keeping it comfortable out there, but we are also expecting to see the return of that humidity by the weekend.
Okay, Chris. Well, we are going to take you back shortly to understand we are going to have a news conference coming up by Metro Police here. They are at the podium beginning to talk about the officer-involved traffic stop where an officer was hit as well as a suspect. We are going to take you to the podium now where they should begin speaking and give us an update there where we showed you our Orko Mana live from the scene just moments ago.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Ben Tien. Last name spelled T-I-E-N, Chief of Police, Metro Police Department. What we have is the incident occurred at approximately 3:15 p.m. today. It started off as a traffic stop that led to an officer-involved shooting. Both the officers and the suspect were transported to the hospital. The suspect sustained multiple gunshot wounds, but his injuries appears to be non-life-threatening at this time. Officer also sustained a gunshot wound, appears to be a graze wound on the back of her head. Now, I do want to make this clear, all the information I have is preliminary. And as, the investigation progresses, there's going to be additional information to follow. But what I have right now is just all preliminary. So again, at approximately 3:15, officer initiated a traffic stop at Windworth and I believe that at the intersection of Windworth and what was the intersection again? Go ahead. Yeah, the traffic stop started at Windworth and LaBranch. So during the traffic stop, the suspect, who was the driver of the vehicle and the sole occupant, was unable to produce his driver license or any form of formal ID. So as the officer continued the investigation, officer attempted to detain the suspect to identify him. Subsequently, he pulled a gun, a pistol, and racked it and pointed at our officer. At the same time, our officer attempted to recover to a position of cover to defend himself. Suspect then took off in his vehicle, which subsequently led to a vehicle pursuit. The chase led to the intersection of Jackson and Rosedale. As soon as the officer approached the suspect still in her vehicle, the suspect immediately fired upon the officer. Then subsequently, there was the exchange of gunfire between the officer and the suspect. And then shortly thereafter, the suspect took off again, then landed at this location. So I will call this at the final location where the vehicle is rested. I'm not sure you guys are able to see that far back. So it's at the intersection of Benz and Chenevert, right? So with that said, because it is an officer-involved shooting, considered to be a critical incident, Houston PD would take over as the primary investigative unit. And the DA's office is also at the original scene out there at Jackson and Rosedale to run a concurrent investigation. At the same time, what happened? Yeah. At the same time, our internal affairs investigators is also running their administrative investigation. Per policy and protocol, our officer will be on administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation, right? Now, with that said, any questions?
So officers okay? That's more, everybody wants.
That's a great question. Please keep the officer and her family in prayer. She is okay, but I will assure you, if that gunshot wound is slightly to the right by a couple of inches, we will definitely have a different discussion. So she's currently at the hospital right now, getting evaluated.
You said grazed in the back of the head?
That is correct, grazed in the back of the head. This is what I got, from the officer at the hospital, right? I have not made it out there yet, so.
And the exchange of gunfire, was that only between the suspect and this one officer?
Yeah, so great question. So there are two officers involved in the traffic stop, only one officer involved in the exchange of gunfire. The officer is in her mid-30s, and this is the first year on the department. The suspect is black male, also in his mid-30s.
Do you know why he was being pulled over?
Well, the traffic stop, right? It's a traffic violation. That's what, that's why he got pulled over. There's still more to follow. I need to talk to the officer to find out more, but because of a traffic stop, yes.
And in terms of the exchange of gunfire, where exactly did that take place? Was it near?
Yeah, that took place at the other scene, roughly like 5 blocks away from here, right there, the intersection of Jackson and Rosedale.
All right, thank you so much, Chief.
Anything else?
You said that it was the first year for her in the department?
Yeah, so, with MPD, we are having a mass hire, I guess episode in the last few months. She is one of the last few hires, a few months ago. So yes, this is the first year with the department. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That was Chief Tien with the Metro Police Department updating us on the incident that happened, the traffic stop at Windworth and LaBranch this afternoon that resulted in an officer and a suspect being shot. He updated us there saying that the suspect did not produce a driver's license or ID, so the female officer tried to detain him, and that the suspect then pulled a pistol and the officer tried to defend herself. The suspect then fled to the intersection of Jackson and Rosedale. The suspect then tried to fire at the officer again and left. The vehicle then rested there at Chenevert, which is where the location where the car is currently at. And that is where a bullet at that time fired by the suspect grazed the officer on the right side of her head. She is expected to be okay, according to the chief. He also said that because this involves an officer with Metro PD, the Houston Police Department will take over as the primary investigator of this incident. That officer, he says, by the way, is a new officer on this force, just starting not long ago, and this was the first incident she was involved in, and that she will be placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation. Both are in the hospital right now, both expected to be okay. We will have more information for you online as soon as we learn more. We do have a crew on that scene, and we'll have more for you coming up at 10, as well as on KHOU.com as soon as we get any updates. Have a good evening.